What's going on, everybody? It is the Atlanta United Fan TV live post-match fan reactions. And unfortunately, Atlanta United have crashed out of another Leagues Cup, another year. It's just mind-numbing how we are completely anemic in penalty shootouts. We just find ways to lose them every single time. And yeah, I mean, a striker taking a penalty should be fairly assumable that he might score that pretty high percentage, but didn't look confident. But guys, yes, let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Doing this solo tonight. Michael has to feed his family. Understandable. I also, the AC is out at my place right now, so this is fun. Whee! Yeah, so probably won't try to stay too long on this so that I can get into some AC. But yes, awesome. Vladimir Gunner, hello. Gavin Marshall says we are bad. I can hear you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But we'll get you on here shortly, Gavin. But yes, losing 5-3 in the penalty shootout. 0-0 is the scoreline at full time, and I mean the first half is just, were there some half chances? Yeah. Were there clear-cut chances? Not really. A pretty bad performance from a must-win game. It just doesn't seem like, backs against the wall, that this team really knows what to do. That they don't feel the pressure. They don't, or maybe they feel the pressure, but they don't know how to overcome it. And Santos Laguna are one of the worst teams in this tournament, and yet we do not make it past our group stage. Yet again. Yet another year. It is absolutely abjectly terrible. And LA United, if anybody in the front office is paying attention, which I would hope so, the attendance today, which was apparently 29,000, it ain't 29,000. Like, it maybe was the people that were, they opted in to it, but that was as empty as they came. Kind of like COVID times, where just a very, very cavernous and not filled stadium. Very much, not even Santos Laguna fans really showed up. There were a few, but yeah, and the very few that did come, I guess, were treated to a penalty shootout win. But LA United, yeah, it's yet another penalty shootout loss at the Benz. Is just insane. But let's get into the chat a little bit. I see you guys chatting, so yes, definitely keep it up in here. I'll read out some of your comments. But Strunk, hey peeps. Kevin B, I don't particularly care for Leagues Cup, but this was one of the easier groups in the competition. I'm at a loss for words. Absolutely. A DC side that we absolutely should beat. A Santos Laguna side that we absolutely should beat. And yet, we get nothing. We get nothing from these games. Jeff Vanderlawn, being an Atlanta United fan in 2024 feels like riding a roller coaster of hope and disappointment. Despite the team's potential in moments of brilliance, inconsistency, and missed opportunities. I'm not even sure it's a roller coaster. It's just it hasn't been downhill for some time. It is just, we're uphill climb, and we have this build-up that just doesn't go anywhere. It's really not reaching the levels that we know that we should, but it's nowhere close. Oyam1 says this club is so mid. Are we even mid? We just crashed out of a group stage that the group was very easy. but yet we play down to the competition, and then we play up to the competition. We've beaten the likes of Columbus Crew and Inter Miami this season, but we cannot beat teams that are either obviously below us in quality, or we're actually just this type of quality. We're not a good team. Vladimir says, this should not be our level. I like our players, but something went wrong today. I mean, something went wrong entire Leagues Cup. But Strong says, doesn't matter, guys. Management has thrown the towel for the season anyway. Really isn't worth it being down about it. Oyam says, yeah, FO threw away the towel starting at the beginning of the season. 5 years already. 5 years already in a row. Strong says, yup. I mean, obviously they didn't throw the towel in, but no, I feel you guys. It is definitely a rough going, and they obviously were going all in on this season. They thought that this roster was going to put it over the top, that we could get a likely top four, in the East kind of spot, but obviously was not the case. Way far from that. And yeah, I mean, it's okay. There are some players that are being brought in, and Pedro Amador, he did start today, his first match for Atlanta United. I thought he looked pretty good. He looked committed to the tackle. He even had to kind of break dance and go down to the ground sometimes to even, to continue to fight for his duels. And I thought, his service was pretty decent at times as well. He looks like a player that is motivated, wants to play well for LA United. And, yeah, hopefully, defensively, he will be a player that can, stop a lot of the opposition for us. And it seemed like so far, at least in this match, one match going against a very weak side, at the very least, was encouraging. And I mean, I would say Saba had a pretty decent match too. He was trying to make things happen, either getting in behind, putting in a lot of balls. Service-wise, fairly on point, except for his corners, which all seemed to pretty much be overhit a little bit to the back post, but no one seemed to adjust. It just seemed like, they were all going that direction, and yet nobody got on the end of those when they could have been headed back to where they came from. And then maybe a secondary header could have gotten, us a decider. But yeah, the defense had a pretty good game. Luis Abram came in for Derek Williams, kind of inexplicably, but yet, he was there. He did the job. And Bartosz Schlisch, he was the captain today. Seemed like a little bit of a, he was chosen so that a little bit of that bad taste in his mouth, a little bit of that goodwill would go to him for unfortunately missing those 2 penalties in the last match. And yeah, it seemed like he also got the golden spike in the stadium. I mean, he had a decent match, but yeah, it is one of those things like, yes, for the goodwill of the player, you want to see him shake that off, and hopefully that helps him. But Strong says, sold the best players and still no coach. Good thing there is nothing at stake in MLS. Yep, unfortunately, it is somewhat the case of that type of thing. But, yep, let me tweet this out real quick. But, yes, guys, it would be great if you guys could help us out as well. So that I am going to do this on Twitter, on X, and yeah, if you guys could retweet that, it'd be fantastic. Alright. So anyway, you know, and then there's a little bit of a rumor, another playmaker, perhaps, at least according to Foot Mercato, Enzo Bardelli, a 23-year-old midfielder. So definitely, you know, some players that are being linked to us, and you know whether we absolutely are going to bring them in or not, it's going to remain to be seen. But yes, we know that there absolutely is another DP that will be brought in, and so yes, we will be covering that for sure. The season is not completely gone, but yeah, there are gonna be transfer rumors, and we'll be on top of it for sure. But Jeff Vanderlaan, man, super chat. Thank you so much. He says, "Thank you for doing what you do. Fans speak truth and stay loyal." Atlanta United Fan TV. We really appreciate you, man. Yeah, I just realized I've been on that two look for a while now. But yeah, running this all by myself tonight. So yeah, appreciate the patience, guys. But yeah, keep it coming in the chats. Jeff, you are a legend. Thank you so much. Vladimir says, "At least Cohen did not let us down like the last time, in my mind." Yeah, I think he had a much better match. It's still a little nervous at times, I think, with his feet. Maybe not the most accurate, but at least from a boneheaded mistake end, it wasn't there. And he made all the saves that he needed to. And definitely maybe a couple that he didn't absolutely, you know, he wasn't absolutely expected to, but he did. And Strong gives a thumbs up. Whoop, whoop. Dono. Yes, Gavin. Yeah, now's a great time, I think, to hop in. Gavin, get in here. But, yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, these penalty shootouts, whatever it is, I mean, it's clear that we lost the coin toss. It's because we were shooting away from the supporter section. I think we really have to figure out a new way to attack these from a supporter standpoint, because we're loud the entire time, but it's just not doing anything, clearly. I mean, I think, like I mentioned in the 5 Sharp Weekly episode, there's a little bit more of the dead silence for the Atlanta United players when we shoot. And then for the opposition, yeah, as distracting as we can possibly be. So, you know, with whistles, with, you know, some shithousery, hopefully something, because that's absolutely what we need to kind of do something. But like Cohen, yeah, he wasn't able to stop any of them tonight, and you know, usually at least, you know, with kind of previous iterations of penalties, he was able to save some. He guessed right, I believe, on a couple, but you know, they were pretty well hit too. But also, he kept guessing left to his left, and Santos Laguna kept going to their left, and so it was definitely not a banner penalty shootout, at least for Cohen. Xavier Sosa says, "Feels like players gave up matches lately. I hope for the remainder of the season attendance goes close to 0, and message to FO that we are a horrible club." I mean, I don't know if the fans are going to just completely boycott and not go to games. It's going to be pretty tough when you pay for the games. You're not necessarily going to completely boycott, but I think something we can do is stay in the concourses. If you stay in the concourses, it looks fairly empty while you're still there at the game. So there is a possibility of being able to do that, per se. But yeah, Gavin, you know, hop in. I know you're in. You have your camera on. Perfect. Let me drop you in here. Boom. Let me adjust you as well. or if you can go to your left. Yes. Yeah, you're perfect now. Excellent.
I'll try to stay put because I move around a lot. You'll see me here.
Yeah, it's very delicate, the frame. But Gavin, welcome in. Yeah, one of our highest tiered Patreon members, so he gets priority. But let us know your thoughts, man.
Well, like you said, this was the easiest. Well, I don't know if it was the easiest, but definitely one of the easiest group stages. Both matches were at home. Both matches were at home. We didn't win a single one. Didn't get 2 points out of a single one. DC are not a great team, but they're okay. They were well matched with us. And Santos tonight, we should have at least scored 1 goal because we did not look good tonight at all. I mean, there were a couple stars. I think Pedro Amador looked pretty good. He put in pretty well. It's all right. Baba did what he could. He had like 2 shots on goal. I think he had a free kick and a header on goal. Josh Cohen also did everything he could this game. He had a lot better game, and he still couldn't even win. We still couldn't win in the end for him, and it really sucks. And we're just not a good team right now. And I want to say this is the lost season, but there's still this is Leagues Cup. This is Leagues Cup. This is not the MLS. This Leagues Cup, we still got lots of matches left. Not lots, but enough to where we can get a better position in the playoffs. And it also really sucks to see that there's not many attending, but I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. Yeah. We're not a good team this year. Simple as that. We're just not a good team. Got to do better. There's more to come. We got Alexi coming in, maybe a new striker coming in too. Hopefully they can make a difference. We'll find out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But as of right now, we are very bad.
Yep, indeed. And that's kind of an understatement a little bit. Bad is subjective, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it is everything like you said. Also, Dax McCarty, he said after the match, he said 2 out of the 3 teams advance and we can't win a game. It's a disgrace, quote unquote. It's been the same problems that have plagued us all year. A lot has to change. And he also said that everyone needs to take a look in the mirror and take stock. That was according to Sidney Hunt. And yeah, I mean, it's just that is it in a microcosm. Is that's been our season. We are a side that, I mean, this is a disgraceful performance, no doubt about it. He's absolutely right. Like, you cannot put up an egg at home in a must-win game and then lose another penalty shootout at home. It's just, yeah. Both matches. Yeah, it's just, you know,
Unacceptable.
Yeah, it's things need to change, and you know, there's a culture change that absolutely needs to happen. And I mean, you know, yes, this is a cup competition that isn't maybe necessarily rated by many, but it's yet another one that we crash out of earlier than we should have. And I mean, heads have to roll. I mean, it's not acceptable. And you know, the comment here, Strong says, the players we have play as good as they can. They can't play any better. That's truly what it is. I mean, it's, you know, the roster is highly flawed at the moment. And yeah, I mean, but yet it still should be better than what we showed today. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, because the defense is good enough to, I think, stop enough sides in MLS, but, and especially a side this week in Liga MX. But yeah, I mean, as far as, you know, maybe moments wise, were there some maybe encouraging things that you can kind of pull out of this that maybe we can kind of recreate in MLS games?
Oh, well, we barely got any good chances. Like,
yeah,
there were like only a couple shots on target. We were like from distance. There was Saba's free kick. We tried to like play it quick, and he didn't even hit it on target. Shande had a shot on target in the first half. That's probably the closest we were to scoring at all, really. Like, we saw that. We're not there's only penalty shootouts and tournaments and playoffs. So those are the only times we scored in the penalties. Those are the only times that we scored. But just we got to do better. I didn't really see much that we could have done. We should have, like, we scored 3 against DC. Should be able to score once against Santos, who only won. It's been 11 matches since they've won a game. It's their first ever game where they've won away on penalties. It's unacceptable. You can't let that happen. I remember when I think we were undefeated against Liga MXs at the Benz, and now we get grouped 2 years in a row, and that is awful. That's not good. I just miss when we could actually win against Liga MXs at home. Now we're just failing every game, even if it's Liga MXs or MLS.
It's unacceptable. I believe, those are all great stats. Thank you for mentioning them. And then it's also, they haven't won but only 3 games this entire calendar season, I believe. So that's bad. That's pretty damn bad. But so Noah Cobb just allowed a goal, unfortunately, apparently, according to Adam Fennell. Was it entirely his fault? You should let us know. But Strong says, again, the problem is not that we are bad. Problem is that it happened out of ignorance and indifference. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it's completely ignorance and indifference. It's, it's a side that's definitely motivated. There are some players that are definitely motivated, but cohesively as a team, no, we're not playing as a team, and I don't think we learn quickly enough and adjust quickly enough in matches. It's just like, so you have Saba overhitting all of his crosses from the corners. So, okay, somebody should get on the back post, right? Like, it's just kind of insane. Or somebody else should start hitting the corners and have a variance of them. And Lennon didn't take any corner today, which is interesting. But it's not like that's been different, really, like a different result. But Adam says, ATL never won a shootout at home. Exactly. Kevin B says, that didn't even register in my mind that both games were at home. Wow. Yep. We didn't win a game that we were hosting for the Leagues Cup. Yeah, it is a little bit weirder because it's played as a bit more of a neutral site in Leagues Cup because none of the games are being played for Liga MX at home, but still, like, and I think that speaks even more to it, the fact that we were grouped by a Liga MX team that didn't even have a home game.
That's all.
Yeah, did they ever announce attendance? Yeah, it was like 29,000.
Jeez, that's awful.
Yeah,
that's awful.
And that was ambitious to even say that. Like, it wasn't 29,000. I was in the stadium. Like, yeah, like they're.
I feel bad. You go to all these games and you see you see the attendance dropping match by match by match. It just keeps getting lower every match. I'm sure you've noticed it.
Oh yeah, it's something that it's like I'm hyper aware of it, and it's sad. I mean, it honestly it's like The Godfather. It's like, look at what they've done to my boy. I mean, I am just in utter disbelief that they have just massacred my boy here, and Gavin, if you haven't seen Godfather, I'm assuming you haven't. You should. It is.
I'll consider it.
Yeah, it is. It is, I think, seminal. Seminal to your growing up as an adult, I would say. So.
Okay.
It will.
Yeah.
It will put some hairs on your chest. But Anyway, so Adam says goal wasn't Noah Coswell. Good. Mexico scored in the 120th plus 2 to win the game. Oof. Yeah, that's brutal. That is brutal. Hopefully he can learn from that and all that. But yeah, obviously when a team scores, yeah, it's the team's fault, team defense. So it's all kind of part of it. But Sniper 19 says Miranchuk won't be enough to boost excitement. So hope Artie hasn't closed the wallet just yet. No, he hasn't. There's definitely going to be another DP forward, at least according to Garth Lagerway. And whether that is able to be done is going to remain to be seen. Obviously, they're going to be trying. And, with the season ticket renewals coming up, which pretty much I think ends tomorrow on Monday, yeah, it's important to to probably signal that players are still being brought in, because otherwise, yes, there will be some people that will be dropping off. They already are. They already have. And, that's, season ticket wise, they're going to feel it. I think that's going to be a known and a given probably. But when does the summer window close? I believe it is pretty much at the end of August. I forget what day exactly. But yeah, at least there's the international one where everybody does, and then MLS has their own too. Sniper says, still do my rain dance for Roberto Firmino. Yeah, speaking of rain, also got effing drenched going into the stadium, so that's always fun. Just
I heard it was very rainy.
Yeah, and so you get that aspect of like, yeah, you just, before you even step into the stadium, you're just, kind of miserable, getting the the sogginess within you. And then yeah, LA United can't rain any goals in, and instead get rained on in goals via a penalty shootout. And so I'm gonna beat the metaphor to death, but
Was it raining after the match?
it was not, thankfully. But it is.
It was not? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it was before, I think that's a little bit of foreshadowing there of what's going to happen. Very, very sad.
It could be, yeah. The whichever god that anybody might be worshiping or following. Yeah, there were tears falling from the sky. It's yep. But yes, Vladimir says, I never thought Inter Miami would be that good they have been in MLS. We still somehow beat them this year. Exactly. It's it's really what it is. We're a team that can smash and grab clearly very well, but against teams that are below us or around us, no, we don't know how to play them. And it's in a season where, yeah, there's a lot to work on. I mean, maybe this 3-week break will allow us to figure out a lot of different things that a preseason probably would have maybe helped. Maybe with the full squad, and Miranchuk may not be able to play immediately if his visa doesn't come through, but I would hope in the 3 weeks, and it'll be an extra week with the 4th week being the one that he came in. Hopefully, this little mini preseason will kind of reshake up some things and might wake up the squad so that we can, like Gavin saying, get possibly a higher playoff spot if we can get in. So, but yeah, what are you expecting from the break, the force break that we have? I mean, do you feel like it's good for the Five Stripes, or do you feel like you would have wanted to progress in Leagues Cup?
No, I think it's good because the same thing happened last year. We got grouped, and we come out the gates and we win in Seattle. At this time, we're going at LA. LA is unbeaten at home this season, so that'll be tough. But I'm I'm not sure. Uh, how long does it take? You know when Alexi's gonna come? Like, will he be there for that match, or will his visa take some time up?
Well, yeah, so I mean, that's really what is going to remain to be seen is how long that visa process is going to take because it's, it's with the lawyers. It's not really, like anything that he can
Yeah.
do. He's probably going to obviously do as much as he can and everything that he can to make sure, he can get into the squad as early as possible. But yeah, like I said, like
Yeah.
three to 4 weeks essentially, the time frame. Hopefully, he will have gotten that cleared. But it also, I believe he can still train. So that at the very least, he he'll be with the squad. So
Yeah, I'm hoping he can. I'm hoping he can be with the squad by the LA match because we might need him. Who knows? I mean, we're not a good
yeah,
team, but we need to work on. I watched Rob Valentino's post match conference. I think Doug asked the questions like, "What are you going to work on over the training?" He said, "Everything, everything. You got to work on everything," and that's true. You got to work on literally everything that could
yeah,
possibly need to work on,
yeah.
and hopefully we can do that. Beat Seattle last time, and hopefully we can. I was saying this earlier this season. I don't think it's gonna happen now because we're bad. But I was saying if there's a road game that we could win, I think it would be the LA game. But LA is undefeated at home, and we're not the same team
Hmm.
that we were a while ago. And other thing, you went back. I'm going back to what you said. Lennon didn't take a corner. I'm assuming Saba has been the corner kick taker,
Hmm.
and if he is, doesn't surprise me because that's how we beat Columbus. Both assisted. Cian scored the brace, and we beat Columbus. We beat Miami. We've had these good wins, and I don't know if we're gonna see another good win like that unless set pieces, our first set piece goals, but won us that match against Columbus. But hopefully, if that's the case, Abba needs to keep taking corners, and we can get more set piece goals. That's how we beat Columbus. And if we're gonna face another big team like LA, then do that as well. But not just that. We'll see if Alexi can make a difference and actually score goals off the run of play. And that's what we need to do with Atlanta United. We're not one of those small teams. We're playing like one. We're playing like we're lucky there's no relegation because we're in the lowest league.
Yeah.
Because we're playing awful.
Yeah, I mean, in a league where San Jose Earthquakes exist, yeah, we never really have to worry, unfortunately, or fortunately. But yeah, I think it's the unfortunate bit is that yeah, there is a a safety blanket, and that is dangerous for some of the psyche. I feel like, but Sniper 19 says Dragon Slayers apparently then get beat up by everybody else. Yep, yep. Kevin B says, I don't think we're going to feel like a complete team until we can get Sosa and Barra off the books. I'm looking forward to filling those U22 spots. Yeah, I mean, you know, try to use every roster mechanism that you have. So, absolutely. I think that's a big aspect of it that we have, kind of crapped the bed on a good bit in terms of our roster construction. Uh, Strong says he hasn't even had preseason yet. He'll be fine. I'm assuming he's talking about Mir and Chuck, but yeah, not sure. But yeah, I mean, it's one of these things. Yeah, it's like Mir and Chuck. He won't be the savior. I'm unsure if with kind of the we'll tread lightly here, but the Russian ties that he'll maybe ever be widely appreciated by every single fan in the in the fan base because that is definitely touchy with all the conflict that's going on in Russia. But it definitely is interesting how well that the fans will take to Miranchuk. But Sniper says, with the new U22 and DP structure, what do you see Atlanta United pursuing? I think they go the 4 U22 and 2 DPs to be that Europe pipeline club, not a high chance for trophies, in my opinion. What do you think, Gavin? Are we going to go that route?
Possibility, but regardless, I don't think we're getting trophies. Maybe next season. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from next season because we got all we know so far is Lexi's coming. We'll see what striker we'll get, but I don't know. I mean, this league's getting harder and harder year by year. Messi's still here, although we pretty much own Miami still. But yeah, this league's getting harder. I don't know if there's a. I don't know. I don't think we can compete for MLS Cup as of right now. Maybe in the future if we can get things going. I feel like if there's a trophy that we win, it's either U.S. Open Cup or Leagues Cup next season. But we're not. We haven't won a single Leagues Cup game yet. U.S. Open Cup's probably the only thing I can think of. But trophies, I don't know. I don't know if I can see this team winning trophies in years. Honestly, that's hard to say from a team who's used to winning trophies like MLS Cup, Campeones Cup, U.S. Open Cup. I mean, this team's won trophies before, but I don't know if we're gonna see another for a while. It's hard to think positive now with what's been happening. I'm usually a very positive person, but it's very hard to think positive with what's been happening. So it's a good possibility. It's a good one, but I don't see us getting trophies for a bit.
Right. In which case, yeah, it's there are the sides that around the world that usually have very little chance of winning stuff, but yet their fans continually show out. It's definitely interesting. I mean, I think they also have probably come in with less bravado and the saying everything that we're hunting for trophies. We want to be the top club essentially, but yeah, essentially Atlanta United, the front office has been talking the talk, but just have not obviously walked the walk, and that's been the difficulty. Is that there's a massive incongruency with the message that the everything pretty much is being put out there, and the results on the pitch. It's night and day, and at one point, you can be like the Cubs. The Chicago Cubs are lovable losers for a long time. Now a little bit more of winners, but I mean, it's like you kind of have to be at least consistent with your message. I think that's been just a big problem. Is that what Atlanta United want and are trying to strive for are just not the same as what's happening. Lex Zone 6 says Atlanta United is a club that deserves empty stadiums right now. Maybe a little bit harsh, but I feel you. I understand what you're saying. But
I understand the frustration.
Yeah, yeah. It's more that the front office needs to wake up sooner than later, versus letting it get to an empty stadium. Because letting it get to an empty stadium, well then then Arthur Blanks maybe starts to question whether he wants to be the owner of this club, and I don't know. Yeah, that's not something that we really probably want. Brian says reluctantly decided to buy tickets and attend today's game. Marta broke down. Concession food surprisingly bad, and field of plays was amateurish, really poor. Done spending money on this dysfunction. I get you. Yeah, Marta. So on the the exit that I have, or I guess the station that I have, the escalator. While I'm not even sure how many people were on it, but I would count probably like 50 people were on the escalator. It started going reverse when I was on it. So we were essentially yes. We were all surfing backwards, essentially, on the escalator. And people were having to run off the escalator. So, yeah. That's super fun. Marta was Marta was insane today.
How do you even get up to the stands? Are, like, both escalators then going down as they know their way up? You gotta go, like, across the stadium to a different escalator.
Yeah, no. Well, that was, fortunately, only on the way home. It wasn't to the stadium, but...
Oh.
Yeah, those giant escalators would have been insane. That, oh man, people would have gotten hurt for sure. But thankfully no one did. But it's insane. I mean, yeah, Marta is a crapshoot sometimes. They're now one of our sponsors, and yet we we get trouble every match, probably, it seems. But they're a private company, and regulations. Anyway, Sniper. One downfall was winning in 2018, and Frank de Boer was the start. We've had awful signings, and many losses on the books since. Yeah, I mean, I think, if we want to talk about Frank de Boer, yeah, I mean, Frank de Boer, it was the start of the weirdness and the incongruity, because we hired a coach that didn't match the players that we had, and it was kind of a hard retool in that off season. But yeah, what do you feel about his comment here, Gavin? With Frank de Boer was the start.
I'm sorry, which one? Frank de Boer? Which comment was it?
The downfall was winning in 2018, and then Frank de Boer was the start as of the downfall, is what Sniper's saying.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I wouldn't say 2019 was the downfall year. I feel like that began after the Toronto loss. It's just, I mean, the beginning of that year, I think that was just simply an awful start. I mean, we've seen bad starts before that, like 4-0 Houston Dynamo, went on to win MLS Cup that year. 2017, that's your first year. So, I think we did really good our first year, but yeah, 2017, 2018, both really good years. Same with 2019. 2019 just had a very bad start. I can see where 2019 was the bad season, where we can start to see that there was some non-2018 Atlanta United, but we still made it to the semis. We did very well towards the end of the year, just couldn't do it in the end. So, I mean, yes and no for 2019, but after the Toronto loss in the semis, absolutely. It's just not this. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same after that. I was gonna bring something up. This reminds me, because I think of the year 2021. The attendance today, I feel like I went to the home opener in 2021. It was limited due to COVID. It was against the Chicago Fire, I think. I feel like, I don't know if you were at that match, but I feel like there were probably more fans at that limited attendance than there were today, full attendance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could have been a possibility.
Yeah. It very well could have been, because the excitement, definitely, the levels of difference there are stark. And yeah, I think the start of a season always brings a lot more hope, and that's what gets you. It's the hope that kills you. But Sniper says, changed our system from counterattacking to possession with players not suited for their roles. Our cliff was when Joseph blew his knee out, and then we lost most of our offense since. Yeah, no, it was pretty much that. It was pretty much
that could be one too.
Yeah, him playing against Nashville, and yeah, just the classless Nashville fans booing him as well. That insane. But yeah, I mean, it's like that pretty much was a thick of it, I would say. Joseph going down with the ACL tear. That definitely didn't help too much. But okay. Someone needs to address what this Mad Lib is saying. Okay. Let's hold up. There we go. That was Michael saying, yeah, I expect LA United not to win anything this season. The incoming reinforcements might be too late to alter our fate, but seeing them go out with a whimper against weak opponents is pretty difficult to stomach for fans. Bring on next season. I'm not holding my breath for this one. Well, I feel you. I see your tweet. Obviously, there is, like we just said, there is hope that we can get into the playoffs. And we are a Dragon Slayer to a degree. If we get a top side, well, yeah, I think we're probably going to have to play the 3 games. But, that will be the equalizer if we can actually do that or not. Beat a really good team at least 2 times out of 3. But, on the road, we've been a little bit better. Like, if it was still Pineda, I would have no hope. But Valentino,
No.
yeah, at least on the road, we've figured out some things. So if we can, sneak into the playoffs, that's what I was hoping. That's why Pineda needed to go, because yeah, it's a foregone conclusion if Pineda was at the helm. Just on the road, it's like, yeah, we ain't doing anything. But yeah, how do you feel about what Michael said here?
But, sorry, I was gonna say, but of course, if we're doing better on the road, of course we're doing better on the road when we're doing even worse at home at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Benz is supposed to be a fortress. I mentioned on the season preview, I think Drew mentioned it was, we need to keep the Benz, we need to make the Benz a fortress.
Mm-hmm.
It was looking like that for the first couple of games this season, and it's not a fortress at all anymore. It's like being on the road every game. It's like that. Yeah. But if we're doing any slightly better on the road, of course it's got to happen when we're doing awful at home as well. And if we were doing about as good as we usually do at home, then we should probably be up in the standings higher than we are right now.
Yeah.
But Michael's comment, let me look at this thing. So I expected United not to win anything this season. That's true. I mean, we're not. What's left? MLS Cup? I mean, I don't even think that's a possibility. We can make the playoffs, but if we do, it's probably going to be in a away spot. I mean, you know how we are on the road. Playoff atmosphere, I don't see that. Incoming reinforcements might be too late to alter our fate. We'll see how that goes. We'll see, but I still don't think it'll be enough. I don't think that'll be enough. Like, Jande still Sabalopchinite, those are, great additions last year. We did good, but wasn't enough. But if we're having these players come in even later, I don't know. But we did have Jande come in. His first match was against Seattle, and we won that. But I do think it might be too late, even with new reinforcements. But seeing them go out with a whimper against weak opponents is pretty difficult to stomach for fans. See? Me, exactly. Bring on next season. I'm with you. I'm not holding my breath for this one. I mean, I mentioned earlier, there's still hope for the season. Season's not over. The League's Cup. This is not MLS play. There's still points to be played for. We can still make the playoffs. I expect progressment. We need to just keep improving. I hope we can at least show some improvement against LA, even if we don't win. I want to at least, score goals, look good, put more shots on target. I just hope we can improve and at least look good. And on the 20th, I think it's 24th against LA. We need to. The season's not over, but it feels over. So I'm usually positive. I'm trying to be positive. If there's a positive, we can definitely do better against LA coming out of the League's Cup break, because that's what we did last season. We can do it again this season. So we'll find out.
Yep, indeed. Next comment. Adam says, I said a couple weeks ago, and I'll say it again, I really might just start watching the twos. Yes, they did win their last match. I'm not going to tell you that it's a better quality, because it ain't.
The twos could probably beat us.
I mean, I feel the energy.
I'm obviously kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're losing to Memphis and India Len, you could.
Yeah.
You beat Charleston, barely, but I don't know.
It's also a greatly changed side that also doesn't really play together very much in terms of when we play those USL sides. So, if we were, I think, a team that...
More players are resting, though.
Yeah. Like, if we were playing, like, as the team that we, like, first choice 11, like, all the time, it's definitely not going to happen like that. But again, I can sympathize with the energy, which I feel it. It's there's not a ton of like hope in how well we play, but yeah, I mean, watch the twos as well, support the twos, but it is, I wouldn't say that you'll be wowed by the quality. I'll say that, but but yes, is it a little bit more competitive? And there are some fun moments for sure. I mean, that's what it's about. It's these players are growing. You're getting to see some of these players before they fully blossom into an MLS player if they're able to make it. But yeah, Gavin, we crash out of another Leagues Cup. What are your final thoughts here?
Like I said, we need to improve. They could push for MLS Cup, even though, I mean, it's hard to imagine us winning MLS Cup. If you get to the playoffs somehow, we just need to look better. We just need to look better than we do right now. We need to look a lot better. We need to score more. We can concede, but this is the Santos Laguna side, who's probably like one of the worst, if not the worst, in Leagues Cup. No, not Leagues Cup.
In Liga MX.
Yeah. Liga MX, gotcha. They haven't won a match, 11 matches, and boom, there you go. What's new? Crashing out a Leagues Cup 2 years in a row, giving these teams their first win in God knows how long, man. Like, what's new? What's new with Atlanta United, man?
Yep.
What is new? We need to look better. I don't know. Get better, look better. We'll see what the reinforcements we get will do. We'll see. I mean, Jonde looks good. I feel like would have been, I don't even know. Never mind. I was about to say something that was probably going to be controversial. I don't know. Something about Jonde, like where he was better last season and he's not as good this season as if we didn't keep him. It wouldn't have even hurt us at all. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's true though. I mean, he looked better last season. He looks. I mean, he's good. He's all right. He's just not nowhere near as good as he was last season. Like,
I think the
best moment he had last season was the goal against Columbus. The leg 2, the one before the half. That was probably the best goals that we needed too before the half. That won us that game, kept us in the playoffs. And the goal against Nashville as well. Those are his 2 best moments in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think the book is out on him, and so it's on him to adjust, and he hasn't adjusted quickly enough. And he's also a little bit on an island too, because there's not really anybody on his side as far as a left back or a midfielder that can combine with him. So he's essentially always just trying to go one-on-one and try to beat his left back or his right back rather, and it's not been simple. It's him. He's not I think a one-on-one master. He can do it. He can beat some players. Like he nutmegged somebody today, but he wasn't able to get the loose ball after that. So it's just one of those things where he's not quite kind of world beater level as far as in MLS. But Sniper says the Ben's looking like a neutral site at best lately. I mean, well, having to be in the Leagues Cup, so it is the case. But yeah,
there weren't many Santos fans though, were they?
No, I mean,
I saw like Apple TV showed that there was like this one section, but usually when there's like MX's fans coming to the Ben's, I see them you'll see them across the stadium. From my point at home, I didn't really see much of that across the stadium. I saw a couple, like they showed a couple, but it wasn't like filled like Club America, Cruz Azul. I feel like there was just one certain section where I don't know the number of the section, but it's always that same section right there. Whenever the upper bowls aren't open, it's always in the middle corner. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I counted. I mean, at least what I saw, probably less than a dozen, probably, but like a couple dozen, I should say. So
usually you see more than that when they're facing Liga MX.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're not good either.
Exactly.
So
why would they? Why would their fans travel like when they might meet
their
demise?
Fans who did travel, they got their money's worth.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, Gavin, thank you so much for your time, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your night. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks, man. See ya. Alrighty, here we go. So, might end the stream shortly after this, but Sniper says, what pipeline do you think is better, lower European leagues or South/Central American leagues? I think, obviously that is a nuanced question, and, the pipeline, if you're talking about maybe being that kind of like, okay, you know, I guess growing players so that they can go on to the next league. I mean, yeah, we should absolutely be a team that grows players to be sent to Europe versus, you know, South or Central American leagues. But maybe if what you're asking is maybe as far as for us and the players that they've, I guess, brought into our team or we've bought more so. Obviously, we've, you know, gotten some of our best players from South America, but, you know, Europe, I think, has an overall just stronger kind of floor. And, you know, some of the better players that we've gotten recently, obviously, are from Europe. You know, from the South American leagues. I think, yeah, it's just matching what MLS can do, and MLS is just a little bit more physical of a league than I think a lot of the South American and Central leagues are. So while you get some, you know, really kind of technical players here and there, or very, very pacey players, you get still, unfortunately, flawed players. And Europe, I feel like their players maybe have a little bit more of a complete game. But yeah, guys, get your comments in. About to end the stream. Really, really appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Much love again to Jeff Vanderlaan for the super chat. Yeah, keep that coming, guys. Yeah, we do this for you guys, and yeah, absolutely. You know, super chats are absolutely appreciated. But yeah, if you guys don't have any other comments, I'm going to get into some AC and get some food. But time to see how Galki doing with Cruz Azul. Yeah, I'm assuming you're saying Yakumakis. Yeah, you know, he's he played against them and then he wanted to join them. And, you know, if they crash out, I would be laughing. So, you know, hopefully that is kind of the case. But anyway, yeah, all right, guys. Well, much appreciated to all of you guys. Yes, another unfortunate result, but we will be here always to cover it. And yes, as well, all the transfer rumors that will be coming up soon. Keep it locked here. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm AJ. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Good night.